Thank you, Lee. Thank you, and hello, everybody. Thank you for having us. And indeed, Greek food is amazing, but hopefully we can keep you for a couple of more minutes because we are delighted to be here to share some of our findings, but then also throughout the afternoon, if you want to reach us, and we'd love to hear your feedback on what we present here, what we'd like to cooperate with you on, or any questions you might have. So I'll be here with my colleague Justin Kings, but I'm going to start giving you a little bit of context, and then he'll join me afterwards. Basically, we're the EBU, the European Broadcasting Union. It's a union of public broadcasters at 123 organizations from 56 countries. And we do many things with them and to support them. But in particular, when it comes to AI, you have it on screen. This is what we do. We help them basically with their own strategies and to understand AI and how they need to incorporate AI in their strategies, in their workflows. Also, everything related to making sure we safeguard the interests of public service media in our cooperation and discussions with the big tech. Also, we have an EBU Academy that has a specific portfolio on AI that you'll also get more details on later. Everything related to also making sure that the values and the positions of public service media are safeguarded also with regulators. Of course, a very important focus of our work is around news and safeguarding the accuracy and trust within the era of AI in news content, but then not only on news content, also on creative ways of using AI for other genres, other types of content, and of course everything related to developing tools and features together. I'm going to be showing you some data from the EBU's Media Intelligence Service, starting with this one from the EBU community. And I know we have some members sitting in front of us. It's great to see you there. 3/4 of public broadcasters already use AI. And even though many of them are still at experimental phase and we're still figuring things out, as we all are, I guess, we have already taken some conclusions and identified some trends at strategic level. What is it that we need to take into account? The first point, and I'm going to give you some details around each of them later on. The first point is about the importance of integrating AI within your own strategy and also your culture, your governance, and your structure. I'll say a bit more on this later. The second point is how important it is to define priorities, because of course we know AI is there. We're all talking about it. We're all hearing about it. But then we could be also carried away. This fear of missing out. Let's make sure we first give it a thought. Okay, what is our mission? What are our priorities? And then see what AI could help us with to be better at those priorities, at filling in those gaps. The third one is very much the importance of safeguarding ethics, trust, and values. Fourth one is the importance of cooperation, which, as I said earlier, is one of the reasons why we hope to keep you, even if lunch will be served soon. And the fifth one is the importance of investing properly in training and in literacy with the workforces and also, of course, with the audience. Some details on the first one. I said we have to adapt our strategy and our culture, our governance, our ways of working. So half of our members said that they have already embedded AI within their strategy. How many in the room, if you wouldn't mind raising your hand, how many of you within your organizations already have an AI strategy? If you wouldn't mind giving us an idea. Okay, so we confirmed the trend. Most of us are on it now. Also, more than 1/3 of our members have also published AI guidelines to make sure we safeguard due diligence. We always have a human in the loop. We safeguard transparency and so forth. Most of these guidelines are publicly available, so I won't go into the details. But most of us also have, now the strategy and the guidelines. But guessing you will agree with me, the challenge is still with implementation. We have the theory, we have the strategy and the guidelines, but then how to make it work. So actually within EBU members, more than half, actually even more than 80% have already set up a cross-department team that works specifically on AI or even a dedicated team working on AI. And we also see an increasing trend of hiring a chief AI. It's 20%, a bit more than 20% of our members said that they have hired one or they have plans to hire one in the coming months. Can you give us an idea how many of you have already a chief AI or similar position within your organization? Could you raise your hand if you have one? So this is clearly an increasing trend. But then in addition to how to implement this governance-wise, one of the key challenges is what to put your money into, actually. As I said at the beginning, one of the things that we keep reminding ourselves, because sometimes we might be carried away, we keep reminding ourselves, remember, what is your mission? What is it that you want to achieve? And then can AI help you with it, instead of the other way around and just basically go and invest a little bit of everywhere. So defining priorities is extremely important, as you can imagine, and we can see that half of our members have even developed their own tools. Many of them are obviously still using user-pay tools. It's basically used for generative AI, in many cases tests and assistance. So actually the trend shows that the most used ones are ChatGPT and Copilot, as you can imagine. But we still see the trend that some of them are developing their own tools, and we think that this trend is going to increase in the next couple of months and years to come. Big trend within public service media, speech to text and text to speech, once again, as you can imagine, and then everything related to assistance and tests for generative AI. But there's more. Some of our members are already going there with the audience and investing creatively in using AI to better connect with their audiences. I've mentioned a couple of examples there. They are not an exhaustive list of examples, and I know actually that some of the members who have worked in these projects are sitting in the audience right now. RTS is in Switzerland. They did, as an experiment, they did a world's first on a full day of radio entirely operated by AI, as an example. Tech Radio, Martina and colleagues are in the audience, so if you have questions, they are the best to answer, but they've been very active and innovative in experimenting with AI, in connecting directly with the audience. NPO in the Netherlands, as another example, who cloned a Star Reporter's coverage of the JFK case, a reopening of the case. RTV in Spain, a double-blind trial of AI-composed classical music project, or Deutsche Welle in Germany. The lab has created avatars to host projects and programs in multilingual versions. There's so much more. So as I said, stay with us, and we'll be around this afternoon if you want, if you have questions or if you want to know more about this. But now, moving on to the next point, which was also related to the importance of safeguarding ethics and values and everything around that. This slide is from Enders Analysis, and thanks to them for allowing me to use it today. Basically to show you how, of course, the big tech are increasing their CapEx investments in AI, which is a great thing. I'm quite sure everyone in this room is excited about the potential of AI and the opportunities that we have with it. But of course, at the same time, it also comes with certain challenges and certain concerns. For example, some of you might have seen this on, it was published, but actually it was on the press a couple of weeks ago. The BBC, one of our members, has conducted this research that showed that more than 50%, actually 51% of the answers that to the questions that they asked on some of the most used, some of the most prominent and publicly used AI tools, they were wrong, actually. They had some sort of error or mistake in the answers. So this is just an example that shows once again that it is important for us that we work together to safeguard accuracy, integrity, trust. Of course, as we were hearing earlier from Parisa, it's the same. The audience trusts what they see, and we want to play a role in making sure that what they get in these tools is indeed accurate. And also that the brand of the source is clearly recognized as well, and that we have an idea of how our content is used, and that we give, if possible, our authorization for what it's going to be used for and how. So this takes me to the point that, we in the EBU sphere, in the EBU community, we really believe, once again, in the opportunities that the AI can bring to us. And at the same time, we need to make sure that it adjusts to certain values, trust, accuracy, pluralism, you name it. We all share them. So it's important for us to cooperate with the big tech, with all media, with regulators to make sure we do, we do what is part of our remit as well to safeguard all of these values. So basically what we're going to be focusing on as EBU is in try and having common positions on AI, safeguarding these values that I was mentioning. They are usually public service media values, but I'm sure, and we all know, they extend to all of us working in media and believing in the importance of media. Also take joint actions on AI development. We need to learn from each other and work together rather than, each of us working individually on a development and then being slower. Also, of course, we're trying to make sure we centralize the knowledge in a similar way to what I'm trying to do now so we can move forward together. And then the two last points, creatively, let's see how we can collaborate on the use of AI to create content. And the fifth one, very important for us, invest in literacy and in skills. But for this specific point, we have the best possible placed person to talk about it, Justin Kings, head of EBU Academy.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Okay, thank you, Mariana. Yeah, so my name's Justin, and I work for EBU Academy. So we're the part of the EBU that helps support members with their learning and development. And in the next sort of 10, 15 minutes or so, I'm going to share with you some of what we've learned about teaching AI. Because it's a huge, huge challenge, isn't it? Because AI impacts everybody. Therefore, everybody needs to understand AI. Everybody needs some level of training. And I think there are some wandering microphones out there somewhere, some kind volunteers that have microphones. You just raise your hands. There you go. Brilliant. One sitting right at the top. Fantastic. Who's had an AI training? Just raise your hand. Who's been in a training course? Hands are being raised really, quite discreetly. I think people know there's a wandering microphone around. Who's done a training and is willing to share with us what you learned on your training? Put your hand up proudly. Now, everyone wants to go for lunch. I think this is the issue. Okay. Well, look, it's good to see that some of you at least have got your hands raised there. We recognised at EBU Academy that, of course, teaching AI was going to become critically important in the years to come. So we set up the School of AI. We're just about to celebrate our first birthday, in fact. What is it? It's an evolving, ever-evolving curriculum of courses and of other learning activities for our members, but for other media professionals as well. And at EBU Academy, we cover all sorts of topics. Verification, techniques, safety of journalists, technical courses, all sorts of topics. But last year, in 2024, half of the people who trained with us learned about AI. So it just demonstrates the hunger that there is out there from people to learn. And on the screen, just to give you an idea of some of the topics that we cover, because again, the challenge is huge. Everybody needs training. So you can see just some of the courses on there that we've been offering, and the offer continues to grow. I've never seen our QR code so large before. But if you zap the giant QR code, it'll take you through to our current offer of courses there. So for me, I think there are 5 main pillars to what we're trying to do in teaching. And I hope this might help you if you're running teams and you're thinking about how do I educate all of my team members. This might give you some important things to think about. If you're not in that position and you're just hungry to learn, again, I think this might give you some interesting pointers. So the 5 pillars of AI learning for media. And the first one, popping up on the screen there, is assessing needs. Now, obviously, assessing needs is going to be tied to your overall strategy, your overall objective, but I think the important thing is here, The learning needs around AI are not just all about the hard skills, okay? Creating the perfect prompt, learning how to use AI production tools, learning how to program using Python like we were doing this morning. It's also about the soft skills. And this is really, really important. Soft skills like creativity, like critical thinking. So we build, for example, critical thinking, an element of critical thinking, into every single course that we do. Because as you'll all recognize, this is a really important soft skill for us to have when we're working with AI. So assessing needs but understanding needs are really broad around this topic. And then we move on to the second, which I've called demystify. When we started with this project, creating a school of AI, I think we thought a lot of what we would be doing would be around hard skills, would be around teaching people how to do things. What we realized really quickly is that there was a big job for us around, as Mariana was talking about earlier, raising AI literacy. Because we all know people are on very different steps of their AI journey, right? Some are super, super keen and are first to download the latest tool or the latest app and start to experiment with it. And others at the other end of the spectrum are afraid. They're afraid that technology is going too far. They're afraid that they might lose their jobs. So to ensure that everybody has an accurate and a balanced kind of understanding of artificial intelligence and how it impacts them and how it impacts where they work is really, really important. And we're trying to make this as accessible as possible at School of AI. So we regularly have free sessions, and they're not just open to our members, by the way. They're open to everybody. The last one we did was around creativity with France TV. Previously, we did one explaining that unbreakable link between AI and data for people that knew very little about data. So please, an open invitation. When you see these sessions that we run, you are very welcome to attend, whether you work for an EBU member or not. Ethics. So again, something that Mariana was stressing, because it's all connected to trust, a critical component of public service media, and the ability to navigate the critical thinking around AI that you need to do is really, really important and very difficult, of course, and extremely difficult for us to teach. Obviously, we can't teach you how to master AI ethics course for obvious reasons. So many shades of grey, so many complexities. What we can do and what we are doing is facilitating and encouraging the sharing of experiences, the sharing of lessons learned, the sharing of perspectives. And again, we're doing this in free sessions. The next one's coming up on March 27th, actually. So this is good timing. So an open invitation to all of you to join us for an hour. We're deep diving into the ethical thinking of Deutsche Welle, the international broadcaster based in Germany. And if you want to attend, dead easy to register. Just go to academy.ebu.ch and click on School of AI there. But where we can support ethical thinking, that's a really important role for us. And I think a really important thing for us all to think about in getting a full, good AI education. Fourth point, try. One of the traits that we've noticed in our members and EBU members who are progressing well in their AI journey is this willingness to learn by doing. That's when they're learning, they're really learning what's possible and what's not. Experimenting, creating a culture, a positive culture around experimentation. Don't get me wrong, experimentation in a controlled and in a safe and in a probably non-audience facing way, but experimentation and trying nevertheless. And for me, when we build this aspect into what we do in our courses, I see it's the people that doubt AI or are concerned about AI, this is a really good way for them to sort of face their fears and really get a good understanding of what these tools do. So learn by doing, absolutely really important step in educating around AI. And the final point is about just being ready to change and respond to new needs, because as everyone in this room knows, AI is developing, changing, growing so rapidly that any of us who are involved in it, in any field of work, need to try our best to keep up to date and then respond to the needs, in my case, the learning needs of EBU members and others. And I think even after the first year of this project, the EBU Academy School of AI, we see quite a marked sort of less of an interest in general courses, but much more of an interest now in courses that have about very specific topics, or teach you how to do very, very specific things with individual tools, for example. So the offer of today at the School of AI is very different to how our first offer looked a year ago. So 5 pillars and 5 sort of key learnings from us from a year of working on this big project, where more than 70 EBU members, so more than 70 public service media in Europe have learned with us. Assess needs, think about hard and soft skills, demystify, prioritize AI literacy for all. And by the way, I think our mission in terms of ensuring everyone has a good level of AI literacy will continue, I'm sure, for the coming years. It's not something that I think we've completed. That's an ongoing thing. Debating ethics, ensuring people have an opportunity to share and to think, learn by doing, and be ready to change, be ready to be adaptable and agile. And because we change our offer and update our offer quite a lot, the best way to keep up to date with what we're doing at School of AI is either to follow our page on LinkedIn or subscribe to our newsletter. So thank you for listening, and I think we may have time for a couple of questions, right? So yeah, and then we'll let you go for your lunch. But does anybody have any questions regarding to anything that we've talked about here, relating to AI strategy or relating to AI and learning? Madiana and I would be happy to answer any questions you may have.
And as I said at the beginning, it's either questions or comments. We really believe in the importance of cooperation with all stakeholders, as I said, big tech regulators, public media, non-public media, and of course the audience, to make the best out of AI. So if you have any comments or any feedback or any ideas, please feel free to reach out either now or later in the day. We'll be around.
I think lunch is beckoning.
Yeah, as I said, Greek food. Thank you, Lee.
Great, thank you. What Justin didn't say is you used to have a background in radio news, didn't you? And you've still got excellent backtiming skills. I'm very impressed. So yeah, lunch is now being served. It's upstairs in the exhibition hall. Grab some food, grab a drink. We'll all meet back here at 2 o'clock. So you can go away and do some networking. Don't panic if you don't get a chance to speak to all the people you want to speak to over lunch, because there'll be a nice 30-minute break as well this afternoon at 3 o'clock. So thanks again, and I'll see you this afternoon. Thank you.